Hi, I'm Gavin Syme, and I'm with Liberty. Recently, the Lake Charles Police Department did an instructional video for the citizens on the right way to respond at a traffic stop. Now, I thought, wow, this is ironic. We live in a society where we need an instruction manual from police telling us how to respond so that we can avoid getting shot or beaten or having our windows broken or being dragged out of the car or locked in a cell. Now, that's a real disturbing thought to think about, that we actually need instructions from our police on how to respond to them so we don't get in trouble when they're supposed to be serving us. So I thought, let's talk about reality. Let's talk about how Liberty should respond to a traffic stop. Now, all over America, we have corrupt courts and corrupt government and corrupt justice system, all the way down to cops on the street who are extorting and harassing and collecting for the pettiest of infractions. Now, we could take this in the direction of you have a constitutional right to travel and drive without a driver's license, that we shouldn't have permits for any of these things, and all that stuff. And you might even have a really good argument. Here's the thing for me is I can't fight every battle. We need to stand up for what's right in an everyday sense and start educating and informing and loving our neighbor as ourselves and restoring liberty. So let's talk about how to respond at a traffic stop and just keep it simple.
Afternoon, sir.
How are you?
Good. Hey, the reason I stopped you today is because I saw this car was unmarked. Is this a registered unmarked vehicle for undercover work, or? Okay, you're not allowed to have patrol cars that are unmarked. Are you aware of that under Washington State RCW?
There's two rules that I start with when I'm dealing with police, and I deal with them quite a bit. The first is always, always, always film. The camera goes on the moment their lights do. I don't let an officer walk to my window before that camera's running.
Good afternoon, Officer Carlson, Ritzville Police Department.
Hey.
Need to let you know you're being recorded both audio and video.
You bet, you too.
Now, once the camera's running, I might set it over on the seat if I don't want to be real overt about it and I just kind of want it to be casual, or I might hold it up. How far I'll go and whether I'm casual about it might depend on the behavior of the officer, how polite and professional they're being, and what they're actually stopping me for. I'm not looking to pick a fight at every situation, but we want to make sure we're asserting our rights and standing up for liberty at every single traffic stop. Because we need to start educating our police and our government and letting them know that we know the law, oftentimes better than they do, and we're willing to stand up for liberty, natural law, and our constitutions, regardless of what their silly legislation that they made up last week says. So, how do you deal with the traffic stop? First, we're filming. The second part is before the traffic stop. I don't let police follow me.
Why do you not want me behind you? All I did was pull on the street. I'm driving on patrol and you immediately hit your turn signal and pulled off.
Because, why do you not want me behind you? Because when I was behind you, you pulled off too. Does it make you uncomfortable that I'm behind you?
No, actually, if you want to follow me around all day, I can.
No, that's cool. And I wasn't intending to. I was just heading out here.
Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't want you behind me.
Why would you want someone following you who is looking for you to make the pettiest of infraction so that they can pull you over and write you a citation or lecture you on it? Why would I want somebody like that behind me? Now, does that mean every officer's doing that every day? No, but why risk it? The first thing I'll do if an officer's behind me is I will, at the first safe, legal place, hit the signal and I'll pull over. I just won't let them do it. So I'll either make them pass or I'll make them pull in behind me. Now I've immediately taken control of the situation. See, in this video, we see the officers from the Lake Charles Police Department illustrating a man being stopped. And we see this female officer pulling someone over for a violation and then proceeding to kind of kick him around and bully him into place. He asks some questions and gets a little upset with her about being stopped. And so she orders him out of the car and she starts trying to intimidate him and bully him. Now, in the video, they illustrate the citizen going into submissive mode and doing whatever he's told. Here's the secret. You don't have to do whatever police tell you. You don't have to answer their questions. You don't have to play their game. Now, does that mean they have no authority to arrest you if they have reasonable suspicion, probable cause that you're committing a crime? No. There are boundaries in which police can lawfully and even constitutionally do those kind of things. But the reality is, in most traffic stop scenarios, despite the fact that they make it out like it's super dangerous for them and they're the ones at great risk, in reality, they're the ones stopping to harass and extort us. So let's not pretend that they're the poor, innocent victim here. The victim is the person they're stopping to harass most of the time. And the truth is, being a police officer is not even in the top list of dangerous jobs. So let's get back to reality. And now this officer pulls you over, or you've pulled over, and they come up to the window. I love it when I've pulled over first, because they'll come up and I'll immediately assert myself and I'll be like, oh, I just pulled over, officer, to see why you were following me, or something along those lines. Now, my goal is not to be a jerk or to pick a fight, but I will always film and I will always assert myself, not because I want to be rude, but because I want my public servant to know that they're there to serve me and that I know that that's their job. And so I'm going to assert that immediately.
Let me see your driver's license registration.
No, I'm not operating a motor vehicle.
Let me see your identification then.
I don't have to show you identification.
Actually, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and identify you.
On what grounds are you identifying me? Am I suspected of committing a crime?
No.
Okay.
At this point, I'm just trying to make sure that everything is good.
Everything's good.
Now, in the video, we see the officer asking the victim, well, did you run the stop sign? And pushing him to answer that question so he admits his own guilt. You do not have to answer questions of police. Here's the secret that I use. When police ask me questions, I turn it right around and I ask them questions.
Is it against the law to hit your turn signal and turn over, Officer Carlton?
No.
Okay.
But
we're cool
it
then.
raises suspicion.
You know what?
There's a little bit of suspicion there.
It raises suspicion when you pull on the side street, make a U-turn, and follow me.
Because as soon as I passed by, you turned out behind me again.
Yeah.
So if an officer says, well, I saw you run that stop sign. Did you run the stop sign? I might say, officer, have you run any stop signs today? And so oftentimes I will just mirror their question back in another way. And I'll usually do it really polite. You can be principled, you can be firm for liberty without picking a fight. Now, if the officer's cordial, even if I don't like the reason I'm being stopped, I'm not going to fight every step of the way, and I'll probably give him that driver's license and registration. My goal is not to go to jail or pick a fight every time. The goal is just to have us be informed, to have us willing to stand up when the need arises, and to have us hold our government accountable.
You seem to be kind of doing something that's clearly in violation of Washington state law. So I just want to make sure you are who you say you are, okay?
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Mr. Sun, I'm not gonna play the game with you.
This isn't a game. It's called law.
Okay.
Yeah. So can I see some ID and maybe license, registration, proof of insurance, sir?
You see, in this ridiculous video from the Lake Charles Police Department, they are setting a theme of you do whatever police tell you because they're the masters and you're the slaves. Well, here's the thing. Police are not the masters. We're not the slaves. And it's time to stop acting like slaves.
Let me see. Take your hand out of your pocket.
My hand is not in my pocket, ma'am. You need to be, let's be cordial, okay? I'm being cordial to you. Be cordial to me. Do me the same favor.
I've asked you several times and you won't listen to anything I've asked.
You haven't asked me.
Identification.
I'm not required to show you my identification.
You are.
I absolutely am not.
Now, this is just one issue. Traffic stops are relatively small in the big picture in the long train of abuses happening all over America. So why are we talking about them? Because if you learn to assert yourself and to stand up at the lowly traffic stop, to not be bullied by a police officer, to handle the situation, you're going to get more comfortable dealing with it. You're also going to train your police that you're not interested in their foolish games.
Maybe if you hadn't ran away when I asked you a question, it wouldn't have been a problem.
You're going to be interrupting my investigation, okay?
Actually,
you're obstructing my investigation.
Let's quit playing games with me, Ryan.
You're not interested in being bullied, and you know that you don't have to play their games. Answer their questions or incriminate yourself. So the officer comes up and he'll say, well, get out of the car. Well, the first thing I'm going to say is, why would I get out of the car? The tone and the way I approach it is huge. Have you suspected me of committing a crime? Am I committing a crime right now? And so if an officer gets hostile with me, I will push back, not in a way that's rude or vulgar, but I will stand that line and make it very clear that I'm not playing their game.
I'm just observing.
Take your hand out of your pocket. Okay, I need to see some identification from you. Take your hand out of your pocket. Don't make me tell you again. Seriously, I don't know what is in your hand.
There's nothing in my pocket. Hey, do not touch me.
If we stand up for what's right, if we learn to stand up for liberty and on principle, we can take it back. Start with the traffic stop. Stop letting your police bully and harass and extort yourself and your family and your neighbors.
You can leave.
Answer. Okay, why are you guys not in compliance?
Can I go in my police-
You can answer my
Can I
question.
go in the police department?
Can you answer the question?
No.
Where's the chief?
Go down to the station and take it up with your sheriff if you need to. Educate your officers and the people around you right there on the street, and let them know that they will respect this people of liberty.